Module Overview, Introduction to Global Value, Chains, GVCs, in Agribusiness. Agricultural markets today are no longer constrained by borders or limited to domestic economies. With globalization, the agribusiness sector is deeply embedded in global value chains, complex networks of production, processing, packaging, logistics, marketing, and retail activities spread across different countries. Each step in this chain adds value, and the final product may reach consumers' continents away from the origin of the raw material. This module offers a comprehensive exploration of how GVCs operate in agribusiness, the strategic importance of market access, and the innovation-driven disruptions shaping global trade in agricultural commodities and value-added products. It also dissects the political economy, policy frameworks, trade regulations, and sustainability requirements involved in navigating international agribusiness markets. Learning outcomes of Module 4. By the end of this module, you will be able to understand the architecture and operation of global agribusiness value chains, analyze trade regulations, standards, and non-tariff barriers, evaluate strategies for market access and export competitiveness, examine case studies of agribusiness integration into GVCs, explore innovations facilitating traceability and transparency in agri-trade, understanding value chains in agriculture. Definition and structure. A value chain refers to the full range of activities required to bring a product or service from its inception to delivery and beyond. In agriculture, this typically involves input suppliers, seeds, fertilizers, machinery, producers/farmers, crop or livestock production, aggregators/processors, sorting, grading, and transforming raw produce, distributors and exporters, transport, cold chain logistics, retailers and markets, supermarkets, online platforms, wholesalers, consumers, local, regional, or global buyers. International sourcing and fragmentation. Modern agribusiness firms source inputs and products from multiple countries. A coffee bean may be grown in Ethiopia, roasted in Italy, packaged in France, and consumed in the US. Specialization and comparative advantage. Countries or regions participate in specific segments of the value chain depending on their comparative advantages, such as low labor costs, fertile land, or superior technology. Vertical and horizontal integration. Vertical integration. Firms own or control multiple stages of the value chain, e.g., Nestlé. Horizontal integration. Firms merge or collaborate at the same stage to reduce costs or gain market power. Market access in agribusiness. Access to international markets is critical for agribusinesses seeking expansion, foreign exchange earnings, and investment. Market access refers to the conditions, tariff regimes, and non-tariff requirements that determine a country's or firm's ability to export goods competitively. Key aspects of market access: tariffs and quotas, sanitary and phytosanitary standards, SPS, quality and grading standards, Codex Alimentarius, ISO, GLOBA, LGAP, rules of origin, ROO, intellectual property and branding protection trade agreements and regional market integration. 1. World Trade Organization, WTO, agreements, the Agreement on Agriculture, AOA, Technical Barriers to Trade, TBT. SPS, Measures 2. Regional Trade Blocs, African Continental Free Trade Area, AFCFTA, European Union Common Agricultural Policy, EU CAP, North American Free Trade Agreement, USMCA, ASEAN Economic Community. These agreements influence tariff structures, mutual recognition of standards, and access to agricultural subsidies, barriers and constraints to global agribusiness integration. Non-tariff barriers, NTBS, complex certification and inspection processes, custom delays and red tape. Nationalistic procurement policies, weak infrastructure and logistics, poor rural roads, lack of cold chains, insufficient storage, limited access to trade finance, high cost of credit and insurance for exporters, compliance costs for smallholders, expensive certifications, e.g., organic, fair trade, difficulty meeting traceability and labeling requirements, trade volatility and geopolitical risks, tariff wars, sanctions, or global supply chain shocks, for example, COVID-19, Ukraine conflict, innovations shaping global agribusiness trade, blockchain for supply chain transparency, provenance tracking and fraud prevention, smart contracts between suppliers and buyers, e-commerce and digital marketplaces, platforms like Alibaba, Jumia, and Amazon expanding B2B and B2C, agri-food trade, logistics, tech, and cold chain innovation, IoT-enabled reefers, temperature-controlled smart containers, improved shelf life and export readiness, traceability and sustainability certification tech, QR code, enabled traceability tools for consumers, integration of environmental and social governance, ESG, reporting virtual trade fairs and digital B, 2B matching online platforms, replacing traditional physical expos, enhanced visibility for rural agri-entrepreneurs, case studies of global agribusiness integration. Côte d'Ivoire cocoa, world's largest producer, but captures less than 7% of the chocolate industry value, highlighting the issue of unequal value distribution. Kenyan cut flowers, leveraged compliance with European standards to dominate EU flour markets. Vietnam's rice trade, moved from commodity exporter to branded premium rice products globally. Netherlands, leverages logistics and cold chain infrastructure to be the second largest agri-exporter globally despite small land area. Key strategies for agribusinesses to penetrate global markets, build capacity for export readiness and documentation, partner with international buyers and certification bodies, digitize operations for better traceability and compliance, invest in branding and geographic indication, GI protection, explore green trade and carbon neutral products to meet future demand,